Also, hello from my side. My name is Dragan Jucinovic. I'm in technical sales in Mobile Core. And I'll present you the Adaptive Mobile Core 2008. It's kind of our short to medium mobile core strategy. And initially the idea is coming from the Middle East region, where we were under pretty high pressure from the competition, especially regarding Circuit Switch Release 4. The main issue is that actually we are very late in the market with the CS Release 4. So some competitors are already a year and a half up to 2 years with such solutions on the market, and we have to fight against competition. The problem is that when our sales is discussing and when they are trying to sell the Circuit Switch solutions, they are always challenged with availability of the CS Release 4, so with a distributed architecture. So our idea was, yeah, we cannot lie. It's true, we are late on the market with the CS Release 4. But on the other side, we have some top products like a Common Network Database or HLR distributed like IMS, and we wanted to bundle these products. So if you look at the slide, our motivation is definitely to overcome the customer perception, because they know and they are always triggering us, hey Siemens, you are late with CS Release 4, why? And what can you do? This is the first thing. And the secondly, so we wanted to prepare a kind of extended solution, a more comprehensive solution to enlarge this narrow focus on the CS Release 4. Because we say, yes, we are late, but we have also some top products. Let's make the story, let's bundle these products, let's bundle bad with good or late with fast, and sell it as a one solution. So this was the starting point for this presentation. As I said, the idea is coming, or the push is coming from the Middle East region, from Telenor Pakistan, Qtel in Kuwait, and they were asking for such a solutions. What our account is getting is definitely one comprehensive outlook of the mobile core strategy. I'm sure I will be challenged afterwards about the future outlook, what will happen with the NSN, and we will have probably in the afternoon also a lot of discussion about this. However, when we started, the whole story was April-May timeframe. The Siemens was still, Siemens Communication was part of the Siemens, but nevertheless the functionalities and the features will stay independent which product will be in the future, because this is, as you will see, a very logical story that is based on the many commonalities, many common functions that are in the networks. What we want to achieve is actually to improve the acquisition and to say, all right, so don't focus, even when you discuss only CS Release 4, don't focus only on CS Release 4, let's talk about some other issues. And then these other issues are, of course, combined Release 4 and Release 5. So extension of the solution and extension of the sales discussion. So what are the operator challenges from our perspective? So first of all, they have in the short term a pretty high traffic growth due to the fixed to mobile substitution, due to the flat rate, due to the falling voice prices per voice minutes, and they have to handle somehow. And that's the part of the story where Release 4 is coming into the game. And say, yeah, we have the solution for you. We have Circuit Switch Release 4 solution for you. And the second issue is definitely migration powered all IP. Because all of the operators, independent if they are really leading, like Vodafone or T-Mobile, the globally leading operators, or the followers in some other regions in Latin America or Middle East, they all want to go at some point in time to all IP. The question is, how can we consult them? What can we tell them? How can we convince them, of course, and what is the best way for them to move to the all IP networks? So our Siemens recommendation is don't go halfway, don't go with the proprietary solutions. Start with a native IP media gateway. Start with a common control for the CS, IMS, for the wireless line, WiMAX, DSL, so one control level. Start with a common network database where all user profiles and all user information are stored. So actually, our primary goal is, as I said at the beginning, is to address current Siemens CS. As you know, we are still number 2 on the market in the circuit switch domain. So, but we are losing the market share. This is also the fact, because we are late with the CS. So our primary goal is really to address the current CS customers that have our Release 99 solution, and to convince them to stay with Siemens. And if they buy Siemens Release 4, then they can enjoy many benefits in conjunction with IMS, in conjunction with common network database. So we will have only management presentation, not lead generation, because the content in the management presentation is covered in detail in the separate lead generation. So like IMS, HLR, next generation source switch. The first issue that we are discussing is, of course, the marketing situation, or what is happening on the market at the moment. And there we see 2 very clear trends. On the one side, we see that the traffic is growing about 20% per year. Why is this? First factor is that people are terminating their fixed lines. So they are simply moving to the mobile world. And the number of the mobile subscribers is increasing. This is the fact number 1. The prices per voice minutes are falling down. You know, the Deutsche Telekom, I think, T-Mobile announced that they're expecting this year to fall another 15 to 20%. So people are talking more. You have also flat rates now. You have the free minutes. You have the weekends free, and so on and so on. So the traffic, voice traffic is increasing. This is a quite clear trend now. But on the other side, due to the falling voice revenues, so the voice prices, and total revenues for the operators are pretty stable. Wow. They are pretty stable. And actually the operators are very, very slowly increasing their total revenue. So that's what we present you with the 3% per year. And you can see, so the gap is there. So they have more traffic in the network, they have to handle somehow this traffic, and on the other side the revenues are not growing so fast. And quite clear the challenge is how to compensate this voice revenue slowdown, and what to do to compensate the decreasing margins. Beside this trend that is more relevant to the classical voice, we see another trend that happened already on the fixed network market in the last 5 to 6 years, where the fixed network operators were losing subscribers, first to the MNOs, that's fine, and on the other side they were attacked by the ISPs and ASPs, Internet Service Providers and Application Service Providers, like Skype. And I think Deutsche Telekom announced that they lost in first 6 months of 2006 1 million subscribers. Can you imagine? 1 million subscribers they lost. What we expect is actually the next battlefield between the ISPs and the mobile network operators. And we expect that from 2007, with the availability of the Aegis DPA, Aegis UPA, flat rates, more and more flat rates for the UMTS, that ISPs will also attack the mobile network operators. Quite clear, so the challenge is, of course, for the mobile network operators what to do and how to fight against the ISPs and ASPs. So what can they do? And how they can react on this pressure? How to overcome pressure on the market share and the prices? And these 2 points, so first of all, the voice traffic rule and, let's say, decreasing or very stable revenues on the one side, and on the other side is challenge from the voice over IP. These are the basic factors for our strategy in the mobile core. What we in Siemens can offer now? First of all, addressing this point, we are offering compensation. So, you know, before we were talking about that the revenues will increase if somebody is earning today like 25 euros, then in 2 years they will earn 40 euros per subscriber. It looks it's quite not realistic, and operators also don't believe in this. They would be quite happy if they can really keep their current average revenues. So what we say, let's try to keep with our mobile core the same level of the ARPU. And this is the focus what we are planning in next 2 years. So our first focus is that we compensate these falling voice revenues with the blended services, with a mix of voice and data services. So blended services are simultaneous usage of the voice and data in parallel. And furthermore, we want to build these services around communities. So the blended services itself are not enough, combination is not enough. We want to push the communities, like Skype has today a big community, like Google has a big community, AOL, Microsoft, and so on. We want to give, with our solution, with our mobile core, opportunity, possibility to the mobile operators to build their own communities with such a combined applications. What we took as a basic starting point is that today, if you talk with Vodafone, if you talk with T-Mobile, they will tell you 80% of my revenues is coming from voice. If the average is in, let's say, ARPU is 30 euros, so 24 euros is coming from voice, pure voice. 20% of the revenues is coming from data. And mostly from this 20% is again 16 or 18% is from the SMS. But users today use already SMS, MMS, email, mobile music, internet. We can do it, man. We can do it. Put the data UMTS card and or via your UMTS phones, and you can do it. But if you see the trend of the decreasing voice prices, and you calculate that the prices per voice for voice minutes are falling 15 to 20% per year. So you can imagine that in next 2 years, the part of the voice in the total ARPU will decrease. The question is how to fill this gap. What should they do to fill the gap? Our idea is to increase via blended services and communities by 10% and additionally 10% via voice over IP and voice over continuity, what will be on the next slide. So what is our suggestion? Our suggestion is actually to build communities, so groups, big groups, large communities, around these combined combinational services. So use voice and use data. Today, if I'm playing the game, I'm playing game today, and maybe I will play the game 20 minutes. If I talk, I will talk also maybe 15 minutes. If I can combine game plus voice, maybe I will play game 1 hour. And in this sense, I will increase the usage time simply, time of the playing game, and I will be charged more. This is the first factor, so increase the time of the usage. And second thing is increase the communication style. Don't use it only one-to-one, but use it one-to-many or many-to-many. So build the groups, build the communities. So increase the time, increase the number of participants. For both these factors, operator can charge. And this is our first thing what we can achieve with the mobile core in 2008. Second issue is definitely voice over IP and how mobile network operators can react on the voice over IP challenge. So they can offer the same solution and say, okay, I'm Vodafone, I will offer you the same Skype client. Hutchison is doing this. Hutchison 3G is offering now, starting with the Skype client on the mobile phones. Other thing is that they say, okay, we will do something more in addition to the pure or plain voice over IP. And that's what our solution can do. So our mobile core can provide the seamless voice call continuity. So when user is voice over IP user in the wireless LAN cell and is losing the coverage, he is continuously, seamlessly, without breaking, he can continue talking. So this is what we call seamless handover between voice over IP and CS voice. This is also not so new thing. You have also today some solutions but they are not FANUC compliant, and you need additional boxes that are also expensive. What can we offer with our mobile core are some additional features like one number, one address book, and one voicemail box. You can imagine today you are at home and you have your phone number at home. Yeah? You have the phone. This is phone number 1. You have address book. You have voicemail box. Yeah? Then you come to the office. You have another phone, your desk phone in the office, with another address book and another voicemail box. Then all of you have the handies, and there you have a third. Then you have the third voicemail box, third address book, and third number. And then if you have also one voice over IP client, whatever it is, this is the fourth. What we are offering with our solution is that you have only one number, that you can always use the same address book, and you can always use the same voicemail box. But the system knows where you are and what purpose you want to. It depends from your registration. So that there are different profiles are supported. When you are at home, you will use the certain services. When you are in the office, you will use another service. But it is very important that these features are together with this voice call continuity, seamless voice call continuity supported. And we did a very detailed business cases, for example, for E+, that show that the operator can earn up to 10%. But then operators are telling us, yes, that's fine. I will compensate my revenues, but how much it will cost me? Because I don't want to have too complex networks. I don't want to have too complex maintenance and administration. And then we say, yeah, wait, we have the solution for you. With our mobile core 2008, you can save up to 25%. I know that always these OPEX slides are a little bit tricky, and there could be a lot of challenges for such a slides. But we did, of course, a lot of assumptions. As a basis, we took the OPEX 25, calculated for Vodafone, where we calculated how much each part of the mobile core has impact on the total OPEX. The majority of 16% of the savings is coming actually for this common control. What you will see in our solution description, in our value proposition, is actually that we have common control, CS-IMS control. And this CS-IMS control is responsible not only for the radio network, for 2G, 3G. It's the one control level also for the wireless LAN, the WiMAX, DSL networks. And can you imagine if you have one control layer, so you don't have a separate control solutions, one for the 2G and 3G, one for the WiMAX, another one for the wireless LAN, and a fourth one maybe for the DSL. But you have only one. Of course that you are saving your operation maintenance costs. If you are putting, furthermore, this equipment on the latest standardized hardware platforms like we are doing with ATCA, then you're in addition having a large savings. Another portion of the savings is coming from the Common Network database. This is a one logical database where all user profiles and all user data are stored. And in these profiles, you have all necessary information. Who is the user? What is he allowed to do? What kind of services he can do? Is he golden, silver, or bronze user? So you have all this information stored in one logical database. And then independently if you're using HLR as a front end, or HSS as a front end, they are just always picking from the same database this information and doing for the certain domain registration and all the other stuff. Unfortunately, this part is just making kind of 6% of the total savings. But with our Common Network database solution, we can really save significantly, first on the lease lines, on the network administration, on the maintenance, on the number of sites, number of nodes, on the network nodes. And that's what has impact of 6%. Last but not the least are the application services. As you could see, there will be a lot of multimedia in the next 2 years. And operation of this and maintenance of these multimedia services in the total sum of the core OPEX is not so big. But however, if we put these multimedia applications on the top of one common control platform, one CS IMS control, more IMS, yeah, because the multimedia is more relevant to the IMS, then we can save about 3% of the total core OpEx. Primarily through the common charging, common quality of service control, common authentication, through the subscriber self-administration, to the subscriber self-provisioning. So subscriber is capable to do self-provisioning. When he starts the service, he initiates his user profile. So customer care is not involved. If you calculate that customer care also costs 20, 30 euros per subscriber, so then you can save significantly. And then is coming question what the operator needs to have this on the one side ARPU increase and on the other side OpEx savings. That's where we are coming. So our focus is on the commonalities in the network. We develop very flexible and the simple on the other side strategy to have a different network elements, different network layers, to have on one side common media gateway for the CS IMS, that we have the common session control, yeah? Common service control. This is CS IMS, common control. Then we have the common network database, HLR frontend and HSS frontend that are using information from the one logical database, and also common services, the same services that are shared between different domains. So I'm the user that is mobile user, but my wife is sitting at home, and she has a desktop computer. But we are sharing. We have the same presence status. We can use the same chat service. We can share the same video or same pictures, and that's very important. The common services on the top of the common service control. So what you can see that we very simplified our network. We don't have any more separated release 4 and release 5. We don't have too many boxes. We have now one common media gateway. We have one common service control, one common network database, and the common services. And then, as usually, what also our sales is asked, I said, all right, I see this picture, it looks nice, that's very, very fine, but what is the difference to the Huawei Ericsson? So where are you today? How can you compete? Because for the sales it's not enough to have just such a value proposition. They want to see what is unique. What we found as a unique is definitely one logical database, common network database. This is at the moment, as you know, top product from Siemens, and we are really a year ahead from our competition. Our competitor is the biggest is Apertio, but Ericsson, Nokia, Huawei, they are all pretty far behind us. We have one logical database for all subscriber data and all subscriber profiles, with the full geo-redundancy available. So this is at the moment, focus. Second thing, what we found as a differentiation is the inbuilt voice call continuity. As I mentioned, there are some solutions today on the market. First of all, they are not standard compliant. Standard is just to be ready. The second thing is that they are very expensive. So what we are doing, we are building this voice call continuity inside of our IMS solution. And this is a huge benefit, also standard compliant voice call continuity inside of our mobile core. The third point is we are building our mobile core on Atka and other commercial standard industry platforms like Linux. We are in line with the hardware development, so they can buy off the shelf and then download software. So that's the third benefit. And the fourth one is the single multimedia transport. We all know that our competitors have already CS and IMS media gateways, but our box will be based again on the Atka, and it will be native IP box from the day one. So this so-called second generation of the media gateway. For some operators, you will use maybe 2 or 3 factors. For others, you will use all of them. It depends, of course, who is the competitor on the market. In the solution description, I will give you just an overview of these 4 key elements. So common services, common meta database, common service control, and a common media gateway. What are the key cornerstones of the Mobile Core 2008? Our focus by the services is not only that we develop all services. You know, Siemens is big and sometimes also very slow. So we cannot satisfy all possible scenarios and all possible requirements what end users want. There are definitely different users that have different requirements. But what we are giving to the operators is a solution, is a network infrastructure that they can support really a multitude of services. And they can support these services in the parallel. So a user can combine voice and data applications. We differentiated between the services and we said, all right, so there are some basic key applications, what we call operator services, like voice over IP, presence, group management, messaging, chat, and so on. And these services should be installed by operator and should be completely kept by operator. But operator should also have a partner services for some, for example, mobile music or mobile TV content delivery. So they should have also such a partners on the market. And then there will be hundreds of services, really the huge range of different services, what we call like an internet model, what today exists. End user simply goes to the market, downloads the services and uses it. The issue for operator is to support such a third-party applications. And this is also focus of our solution. So not only to give to the operators our own services, but simply to give them mobile core that is open, that is standardized, that have open interfaces that can support also a variety of other applications. Second key element is the common meta database. The heart of the element is a one logical database where all user profiles and user data are stored. And then you can have it in different domains. In CS domain, you will have HLR. In the IMS domain, you will have HSS as a front end that will access to the heart of the solution, to this logical database, and take the information out. So it is excellent possibility for the fastest service introduction because you are provisioning subscribers only once. Yeah? You're not doing this provisioning several times. You are putting information only once in the database, and then afterwards the specific users or domains can access to this. It's a completely flexible adaptation and extension of this database, so it's scalable. So I think currently we are supporting about 40 million inputs, and what is very important, it's a geo-redundant now. Geo-redundancy, especially for the IMS, for example, for the HSS, was not the issue up to now. But now more and more operators are asking for this, and with such a redundant and geo-redundant solution, we can also answer the operator requirements. It is as I said, it's a one consistent database, and this is the major advantage where you can really access to the user profiles, and you can define simply profiles according to the specific roles also. When user is at home, he will use the home services. When he's in the office, he can use the home office or business services. Heart of the solution of the adaptive mobile core is actually the common control. What we consider as a common service control is actually a combination of the MSC server, media gateway control function, MGCF, and the CSCF, call session control function. So this is what we consider as a heart, as a key element of our adaptive mobile core strategy. What we can provide is the fast service introduction and, in fact, the service introduction for all domains. Because with this control level, you can control 2G, 3G, WiMAX, Wi-Fi, or DSL. And when you introduce the service, you can control it, of course, for all domains. It's a standard compliant. we are already today, not only to GPP release 4, release 5, but we have already today some features of the release 7. In 2008 we will definitely have more features according to the standardization. It's a common control for the voice, for the classical voice, that's a basis for the CS release 4, but also for the voice over IP, for the multimedia, and we want to extend what Wolfgang presented this mobile TV. We want to extend up to 2008 to go in the direction of the IPTV, of mobile TV, of video on demand. To go in the areas of the home security, home controlling, so really to extend portfolio of business opportunities for the mobile operator. It's ANCA based, and we are offering some unique features like a subscriber self-provisioning, self-administration with one bill, one voicemail box, one address book, and one number capabilities. The last product in this solution description is our common media gateway. As you heard probably many times before, it's also part of our next generation SOS switch strategy. Our media gateway is late, this is the fact, but it is ATCA-based media gateway. It's a native IP media gateway that will support also CS, IMS, PSTN, so the all current domains, IP, ATM, TDM. It's a pretty big scalability range possible. I think we are planning from 250 up to 20,000 LMs per rack. It has full 2G, 3G feature set, and there is no performance reduction. What is very important is this here.
Why is it already in blue color?
Sorry?
Why is it already in blue color?
Blue color?
Yes.
It's from the agency that did the beautifying of the slides. So it's not. I know that it's not. As you can see, also that we have some orange colors and so on. So
Esther, you have to.
It's a blueprint. So what we have and what's very special especially for the maintenance is these hot pluggable ports. We can put out slots without shutting down the whole machine. Where we are staying with the references. I can just give you an overview of where we are today. Where we will stay in 2008, that's what we will see. In mobile switching, we are still number 2, but as I said, we are losing market share. I think Manfred Stelzer can tell you how many percents, or is it half percent or 1% per month, something like this. So we are really attacked very much by CS. Nokia has more than 100 contracts in the CS release 4. We have 8 contracts, at least that I know. In Common Ether Database, we have a big contract with T-Mobile for 40 million subscribers, and as I heard, there are many tenders in the queue. So we hope that we will get some very more contracts for the Common Ether Database. And regarding IMS, we have about 40 projects. There are, of course, everyone is claiming that have the commercial contracts, even what is sold for the trial purposes. We have the really commercial contracts with the KPN, E+ base, with the Digital Nanny in China, Fujian Telecom in China, MPC Kuwait, and that's the status where we are staying today. At the end, 2 key messages for a takeaway as a summary of the whole presentation. You could notice that we are focusing on let's say, in two different directions. One is to increase the revenues, or at least to compensate falling revenues. And second one is to reduce the operational cost, the complexity in the network, and to bring actually simplicity and flexibility in the network. So what we are telling to our customers, and this presentation is already presented in, for example, Mexico last week, it will be in Hong Kong in December, and so on. So that with our mobile core, they can reduce, they can first compensate the falling voice revenues by adding 20% First of all, via communities around blended services, and secondly, via enhanced voice over IP solutions and the voice call continuity. These 2 points, blended services, combined applications, and voice over IP with voice call continuity. And second issue is, of course, the operational cost. Always the focus of all operators. They are always asking about simplicity. We believe with our common functionalities in the network, with a common media gateway, with a common network database, with a common service control and common services, we can reduce really significantly the operational cost in the network. Simply one box is serving more domains, more functions. So you don't have so many operational costs. We have CS IMS multi-domain solution, multi-domain in the sense of really supporting or combining CS and IMS, but also multi-domain in the support of radio and WiMAX and wireless LAN and DSL connections. We have the latest industry standard technology like ATCA and Linux as a basis for our product, and definitely very simplified provisioning by a common network database with a reduced number of sites and nodes in the network. So this was our adaptive mobile core 2008 spectrum change. Questions? Yes?
We have got one question. How much is it aligned with our mobile voice over IP story? Because the one thing I think the story in general is fully okay. I'm just wondering the one thing.
Yep.
Seamless mobility between cellular and voice over IP.
Yep.
Why would you need it? You have a home soon, you have a circuit switch voice, you move outside the house, you have a circuit switch voice. No need to make any special solution, it's just a tariff problem.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we are not focusing. First of all, we think that about 60% of the whole voice communication is done indoor. This is the first point, first starting point. You're in hotel, you're talking by your mobile phone. You're on the airport, it's closed area. You are in Siemens, again, you're in the office, but you're still talking. 60%, even maybe more, is done by in the indoor. This is the issue number one. What we do, we don't want to cover only home scenario, what you said, home zone. We want also to cover hotspots in the hotel, at the airport. We want to offer so-called wireless office scenario. When a user is coming to Siemens, he's talking with his GSM phone. When he's entering wireless LAN area of Siemens in St. Martinstraße, he's covered by a wireless LAN coverage, and he can use voice over IP. On the one side, Siemens is of course paying less for the voice over IP. On the other side, Vodafone, for example, who is providing these services, is getting more subscribers, or simply that subscribers will stay by Vodafone. So we think that with the voice call continuity, they can simply extend the business. They should go to the wireless LAN area, to the DSL area, so they should leave their pure radio model and simply to try to keep their customers in the network.
As I said, I think the main question is, blended services is all fine. Only the logic, why should some visitor coming to Siemens make a phone call over Siemens wireless LAN? We won't allow him to go
It's not for the visitors, it's for Siemens employees. It's a so-called wireless LAN. I gave you just one example. But I, as a user, I would really like to when I go to Munich airport, that I have possibility also to speak via voice over IP. Why should I have my PDA with a wireless LAN with a Skype client and go to the wireless LAN hotspot on the airport and use the Vodafone hotspot at the airport and to speak 0 cent or 2 cents per minute, when I can have the seamless voice call continuity between GSM network and wireless LAN and voice over IP. That's my goal.
The only question I'm having, we have a mobile voice over IP story where we are saying, look, we have a smart voice interconnect, we can interconnect in the core to an IP, and we go over the classical circuit switch voice over the air because it's more efficient than to do voice over IP there. Why do we have to modify here?
As I mentioned, so the focus is not on the radio access. So you mix them in yes, this is the truth. So our recommendation is don't use the 3G access for the voice over IP. But what we are recommending, use DSL and wireless LAN for the voice over IP, and combine it with the circuit switch GSM. This is our proposal. 5 minutes lunch. Some more questions, please. All right.